Hey, greetings everybody. It's GleeCon back at you again with another episode of Lore of Warcraft. One of the last ones probably where you'll see a glitched out frame of myself. Hopefully any minute now we'll be getting that replacement webcam. In our last episode we talked about Dustwellow Swamp from the World of Warcraft Dungeons and Dragons campaign setting perspective. And we have recently also wrapped up all side content covering the last manga, Warcraft Legends. So all we have left is to wrap up Cycle of Hatred as we bounce back and forth between this and the Dungeons and Dragons. So on this last chapter, what happened? Yeah, I guess they just had, I think we haven't read one since they had their little meeting and they decided now's the time for us to bring the fight to Zabad lore. So stay a while and listen as we read chapter 21 of Cycle of Hatred. Corporal Reich had no idea who it was who started the fighting. One moment he was standing there in the skirmish line in front of Northwatch Keep's wall, Private Hoban on his left, Private Allen on his right. They stood about 20 paces behind Major Davin. The Major himself was amazing, just standing up to that orc like the war hero he was, not scared or nothing. Did them all proud, the Major did. The next moment, the skirmish line was shattered and orcs, trolls, and humans were getting into it. All around him he heard the clang of metal on metal and the shouts of both sides imploring their fellows to kill their foes. Not that Reich minded all that much. The orcs had their nerve, they did. Wasn't enough they had to pull their stunts and trade at Ratchet, leading to a good man like Captain Jock getting pinched by the bruisers. Now they had to come and try to kick them out of their rightful place in Northwatch. Reich wasn't putting up with that, he wasn't. He unsheathed the family claymore. Father was part of the cool Tiras Irregulars back in the day, and used the claymore to good effect. After he died of the flu, Mother joined up and killed plenty. She died fighting the Burning Legion, and the claymore came to Reich, which was a relief as the longsword he'd been using was crap. Although he wasn't as good with it as his mother, he was better than Father was, and he intended to spill plenty of orc and troll blood with it. One of the trolls came right at him, holding up a huge cleaver. Reich parried the cleaver, then kicked the troll in the stomach. That trick always worked on the drunks he used to clear out of Mowbray's tavern back home. Unfortunately, trolls had tougher bellies, and this one just laughed and swung again with the cleaver. Blood pooled in the sand under him, but Reich couldn't spare a glance to see whose it was as he parried the cleaver again. "You had this coming a long time," the troll said as he lifted the cleaver. While the troll was wasting time saying this, Reich stabbed the troll in the chest. His foe falling to the stand as Reich removed the claymore, he turned to see that the blood was from both Hoban and Allen, who lay dead in the sand, blood pouring from multiple wounds. An orc was charging toward the keep gates, blood dripping from his axe. Screaming, Reich ran for the orc and stabbed the greenskin in the back. "Hey, human!" Reich whirled around to see another orc. "You killed Gorks!" "Gorks kill my friends," Reich said with a snarl. "Yeah, fought 'em, but you stabbed him in the back." Not seeing the big deal, Reich said again, "He killed my friends." Raising his greatsword, the orc said, "Well, now I'm gonna kill you." The greatsword was a lot bigger than Reich's claymore, but that meant it took the orc a lot longer to swing it, as he had to wind up to strike, which gave Reich plenty of time to either dodge or parry. An attempt at the latter resulted in an impact of blade on blade that sent convulsions through his entire body, leaving Reich to embrace the efficacy of the former. Or so he thought. The fourth time he dodged the greatsword, he bumped into Private Nash. That caused Nash to turn around in surprise, leaving him open to an attack from an orc's pulverizer. Anger got Reich's blood boiling. It wasn't enough that these orcs had to attack, now they were making him screw up his fellow soldiers. Screaming incoherently, he ran at the orc with his claymore. The orc stepped aside to his left, holding out his greatsword, which cut through Reich's chestplate and stomach as he ran past. White-hot agony sliced through his torso, and his scream became even more incoherent. He flailed his claymore about with his right hand while clutching his injured chest with his left. Suddenly the claymore stopped short and wouldn't move. Wincing in searing pain even as he did so, Reich turned to his right to see that the claymore had impaled the orc's head. "Says you right," he managed to blurt out through clenched teeth. He yanked the claymore out of the orc's skull, which shot a lot more pain through his chest. For some reason, the sounds of battle had dimmed, and all Reich could hear was a persistent roaring in his ears. Using the family weapon as a makeshift walking stick, he stumbled forward in the sand, looking for more orcs to kill. All right, so whatever it was, they didn't even get their couple hours or whatever. Battle has fully broken out from Northwatch Hold, which, as we read, is going to eventually leave the alliance and become just an independent hostile faction. And the orcs under Thrall's control, but the possessed orcs really. All right, we are creeping closer and closer. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching and listening. I hope that you enjoyed it. This episode in the pipe 5 by 5. See you next time on Lore of Warcraft.